Coming up, we're going to be talking with a motivational speaker and author, Greg Reid, there he is, about the Chargers' mindset for making it to the big game this year. That's coming up.
Well, the Chargers coach says the team is physically healthy going into Sunday's game, but what is their mindset? To talk about that, we have a motivational speaker and author here who wrote a best-selling book called 3 Feet from Gold, and Greg Reid is here to talk about how this book could apply to the Chargers this weekend. And hey, thanks so much for coming by and talking about this.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. Now, first of all, let's talk about what this book is about.
Okay, well, the story is 3 feet from gold. It's taken about a gold miner who literally gave up 3 feet away from the largest strike in the history of the United States. And the message is, how many people quit when they're that close to their goal? And what we want to do is talk about the Chargers. Boy, we're getting that close again, and we got to keep persevering even through the challenging times.
So what's the mindset? What do you think it should be going into this game? Because, yeah, this has halted us in the past.
Well, in football, there's something called the red zone. You know, it's that last 20 yards. But the toughest part is the last yard, that 3 feet. And the realities are, when we're that close is the toughest time, but it's also the closest that we get to victory. And the people who persevere and become champions in their own life are the people that keep going when they're 3 feet away.
You know, and that mindset is huge going into this. Yes, it's a very physical game, but what's up here is so important in it. Yeah,
well, both teams are exhausted. I mean, at the end of the day, the last few minutes, they're beat. Both sides are. But the people that are mentally the toughest, the people that want it the most and have the highest standard, are always the ones that get to raise the trophy at the end of the game.
Now, this book is all about motivation. You have a lot of lessons in here. Can you give us some examples of that?
Well, yeah. One of the greatest interviews I did with somebody named Evander Holyfield. You know, him, the boxing
Somebody named Evander, yeah.
And I asked him, I said, what made you the champion in your field? And he says, I have a higher standard. He says, if you have a car and you won't tolerate it running bad, you have a better standard. Then your next door neighbor, you have a better car. He says, in sports, I showed up early, left late, invented new exercises, had a higher standard, and won more championships. He says, but didn't it hurt, you know, getting into the fight? And he says, yeah, but you don't focus on the pain when it's coming your way. If you focus on the blows, you get knocked out. He says, it's the same thing out of the ring. And he says, you know what's really funny? When you do win the championship and they stand on their feet and they scream your name, he says, you don't even feel one of the punches or one of the bruises you took along the journey. But the person in the losing locker room will feel every bruise for the rest of their life, wishing they would have gone that extra 3 feet and had a higher standard too.
Really motivational, and of course that's such a good thing for people to carry. I remember when I ran my first marathon, I kept thinking, Linda, this is going to be about 4.5 hours out of your life. That's it, just 4.5 hours. You can do anything in 4.5 hours, right? So that motivation was what carried me.
How was the last little bit?
Oh, it was tough, but 2 miles from the finish line, people kept saying congratulations. And I'm thinking, are you kidding? I still have 2 miles on this 26-mile, but it really helped to hear that, because you think, I'm almost done. I can do this.
You're right, and it's that mental push. It's that little bit more. It's that little bit of extra that goes that extra mile.
So this red zone, you know, there's a lesson for everybody, not just football players. So can you go over that a little more?
Well, yeah, it's the same thing for all of us in life. How many people quit one class short from a degree, or they quit sales or marriage or marketing? It's easy to quit.
And then they always think about it for the rest of their lives.
And they wish they would have. And at the end of the day, I think the worst thing we could do is sit on our deathbed saying, I wish I would have, or I wish I would have gone that extra little bit. And you know what? It's the funny thing, when the bell goes off and the game is over, no matter how exhausted you are on the field, energy comes over right about that part when you're raising that trophy, and all of a sudden you're filled with the energy you had inside you the entire time.
All right, so you're here for a meet and greet. You're going to do this, talk about the book. You're going to be there to talk to people. Right. What are you going to talk about, and where is it?
It's going to be downtown San Diego. People can go to my website at alwaysgood.com, email me, I'll send you the address, and what we're going to do is come together to find out if they're 3 feet away from their own goal as well, and help them push a little bit through.
6 to 8 tonight. We'll have all the information linked to our website in case they didn't catch all of it. Very nice to see you.
It's a pleasure.
All right. Take care. Go Chargers.